But Yeezy, man, look, Kanye's the GOAT, bro. I'm on record. Kanye's the GOAT.
The goat of what?
He is the greatest hip hop artist of all time.
All time?
All time. This is why. Look, let's put this down because this is about to get interesting real quick. This is about to get interesting.
So I don't disagree all the way, but I do.
I didn't say rapper.
Okay.
I said hip hop artist.
So you're including everything.
Everything.
Beat making, producing other people's stuff, lyrics.
Discography, longevity, quality, quantity.
I feel like his quality is kind of,
At least 5 classic albums.
I would say 3.
At least 5.
I would say 3. A firm 3. Like 3 non-debatable 3.
5 non-debatables.
The first one.
Classic.
Second one.
Classic.
Third one.
Classic.
What's next?
808s. Classic.
Changed
Changed hip hop.
So I keep forgetting about 808.
Changed hip hop.
4. Non-debatable.
Here we go. Now I'm a Kanye stan, so take this with a grain of salt. This is totally subjective. I'm incredibly biased.
Okay.
But
Give me 5.
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, bro.
See, I didn't get into it enough.
Almost a perfect album.
He
or
was talking
a
too
perfect
crazy
album.
for me.
Oh, he was talking crazy on Jesus.
Yeah, he was talking. I
Yeah,
didn't
he
get
was-
into that one either. Like I
Look.
might have heard 2 or 3 songs because like he was talking crazy.
Yeah. Look, my Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, the crazy levels right here, Jesus is like, it's like right here.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I can't name a song off of Jesus.
Oh, bro. Blood on the Leaves, Black Skinhead, Hold My Liquor, Bound 2, New Slaves.
Like I've never heard any of that.
I'm a God.
Pat,
That's half of the track list.
There's a time
Yeah.
when we was in church and I was so hard that I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not listening to nothing.
Look, I'll agree with you because I seldomly ever revisit Jesus for more than maybe a track or 2 at a time. Just because the content is so abrasive.
Yes.
You know, and it is hard to listen with the ears that I listen with now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Brilliant album, production's nuts. It was ahead of its time. But Kanye actually described himself as Nebuchadnezzar in that time period of his life. Not at the time, but later after he became born again,
Yeah.
he looked back at that time period and said, man, I was basically Nebuchadnezzar. I was at the peak of my power, my wealth, my fame, all of those things. And I felt as if I was. And I got humbled after that. So whenever you take the story arc of college dropout to Jesus is King and what is about to be Donda, there's a common thread and there's there are different chapters of his life. So it's really cool to be able to revisit certain albums and to see who he was and what he was going through during those certain
Because
periods of time.
My Twisted Dark Fantasy, that was when his mama died. That was like
That was 808s. 808s is when his mama died. And he broke up with his fiance at the time.
Yes.
Yeah. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is after the Taylor Swift MTV Music Awards fiasco.
But still though, I feel like the majority of the crazy talk that was on My Beautiful Dark Twisted, that came from like the losses that he took when 808s came out, or am I wrong?
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy really is a magnus opus. It's phenomenal,
Okay.
right? It's
Explain that word to me.
it's
I
a
don't
way
have-
of saying his best work.
Okay.
Like high art, right?
Okay.
And he had so much public backlash because of the Taylor Swift incident.
Oh yeah, that was a big deal.
I mean, he moved to Paris. He, whenever he came time to record My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, he rented out a studio in Hawaii for 24 hours a day and had all of his friends come through and help him produce it. To talk about quality, they put 5,000 man hours into making the song Power alone.
Really?
Yeah.
And I hate that song. Like not because it's not good, but it was oversaturated.
It do yourself a favor. There's a podcast called Dissect Podcast, and it's a guy who has he has, I believe, a master's degree in music.
Okay.
So he knows how to read music, how to orchestrate, how to create, and all that stuff.
Oh,
what he does is he takes My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and breaks down musically and lyrically each song per episode. And the depth of that album is insane, man. Okay. I mean, it's an incredible, and it was his work of saying, I have to make a body of work that is so good, it'll make people fall in love with me again.
Wow.
Yeah, because at the time he was hated.
Oh, yeah.
So he was like, I'm going to make a work that is so good that people aren't going to be able to cancel me.
It'll be undeniably great.
Undeniably great, and it was.
Okay.
It's kind of like you may have an athlete in whatever sport they play in, and maybe they have some questionable off the field character decisions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But winning covers a lot of that stuff, right?
All of it.
So My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was Kanye's attempt to win on the field to cover up the questionable character fiascos off the field.
Donda, what do you expect from me? Because I heard
classic.
I heard the little. You saw the little Nike snippet with the.
Yeah.
And I was like, bruh.
Yeah.
Get me to YouTube. Let me find anything else I can find. And I couldn't find anything else. I was like, I think this one is going to be what people expected Jesus is King to be. As far as like having the level of goodness as well as like the spiritual content part of it.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna wrap everything up. The one thing that he did on Jesus is King, and I think that he's probably gonna do it again on Donda, is like, you heard Jesus is King, the track, right? That last song.
Oh yeah, look.
And it's like that song is playing,
I love Jesus is King.
and I'm expecting that last song to develop into something.
Yeah.
And it just cuts off.
Oh man.
And he does that.
Yes.
And I'm like, I feel like he's gonna do that again. I think the little Sherry Richardson.
Yeah.
I think that's it. That 1 minute, like that's it. I'd be upset.
That closing track on Jesus is King could have been 4 minutes long for me.
Oh, bro, it could have
awesome.
It could have kept going, or it could have hit what we thought it was gonna hit, and it didn't hit. And I remember this talking about it with the fellas, and I was like, dog, that one song I was waiting for something else.
Yeah.
Like the crescendo, like
it cuts off before that. Yeah, yeah.
It's building and it just cut off.
Yeah. Look,
don't do me like that.
I love Jesus is King. It's my favorite Kanye album. And because for me, I remember whenever Kanye did the BET Cypher back in like 2009, a long time ago. And I remember what he was rapping about. And I heard a broken man confessing his brokenness publicly. And most people were just like, oh, bars. And I'm like, this guy's bearing his soul, And I remember I started praying for Kanye from that moment on.
Yeah.
So I prayed for him throughout his career. So to see him turn to the Lord and to see that radical transformation in his life, and then for him, we were listening to Jesus is King on the way here today. Mm-hmm. And I turned and I looked at my daughter and I said, you don't know what it's like to follow Kanye from College Dropout. Yes. Or even before, whenever he was producing for Jay-Z.
Yeah, because he had a long stretch of just making beats.
Yeah. To listen to him from that point, to then say certain things on Jesus is King was just mind-blowing for me. Because I never necessarily expected to hear that. So I love Jesus is King because I love the content, right? Mm-hmm. And then also, don't sleep, man. That production's nuts on the album. And then shout out to No Malice for maybe the best verse on the album. Push, eating the track.
It's constantly referred to in the small circle that I write.
Kenny G? What?
That's the best song.
That sax solo?
Yeah.
He went crazy. So I love Jesus is King. Donda. I was listening to the listening party on here, in the store.
Yeah.
Right. This is how much of a stan I am. We were halfway through the first track and I text Daryl, classic. So I'm the wrong person to ask in regards to what to expect, because I'm probably going to call it a classic regardless. But I liked what I heard. You know, it was an unfinished product, but there was different elements that I really liked. I think that he still was staying pretty strong gospel centric. But then, I mean, you got Tyler on a track, you got the Baby on a track, you got Jay-Z flirting with the idea of Watch the Throne 2, which, look, I'm taking a day off of work if Watch the Throne 2 comes out. Don't call me. Don't ask me about nothing.
So I never
PTO. Yeah.
I feel you though.
Yeah.
You have your people that you cut for like that, and
For sure.
For the first 3, because 808 was the 4th one.
808s was the 4th one.
For the first 4, I was with him.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, man. I don't know if we got in the church hard or what. But
You had to not be with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
I dropped out.
Yeah.
I think I remember 3 songs off that album, and I was like, he feel like he talking kind of reckless.
Yeah. Well, if you listen to that podcast and you listen to that guy break down that album, really, Jesus, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is Kanye's confessional.
Yeah.
It's him saying, fame and wealth isn't what I thought it was. That's what My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is.
Really? I have to go back and listen.
Yeah, I thought this was going to satisfy me. Now, look, for people who are under 18, don't listen to it. Right? I mean, there has to be some level of, maturity because of the content. And then for Christian-based listeners who their convictions don't allow, don't listen to it.
Yeah.
But, for those people who are maybe a little more open and not necessarily lenient, but don't have that conviction that way, that could listen to that and it not lead them somewhere that they don't need to be.
Yeah.
If you re-listen to it with the ears of, you're listening to a guy who is saying, everything that everybody is trying to strive for, I have, and I'm not satisfied. It's basically King Solomon, man. I have everything that I want, but everything is vanity.
This is very good.
Yeah.
And the conviction that you speak of is my approach to movies.
Oh yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
'cause I can watch anything, but I know it's not gonna move me no type of way.
Sure.
Like, this is make believe. I know what you did. Like, this is that. Like, I know this is all pretend. But some people, watch the same thing. It's like, I have an urge.
You'll lead
now
them
to-
somewhere.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
an urge to do this now that I didn't have before watching. It's like, well, maybe you should watch.
Yeah.
People, like regular people, like not or not people well versed in the Bible, like they don't get that. They think that's weakness, and it's like, no, it's protecting yourself.
Sure.
It's just protecting yourself, and it could be with music, it could be with TV, movies, anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a, guard your mind, guard your heart.
Guard your heart is what I say at the end of all the videos, man. So
Yeah. You got to. And people have different convictions about different things. And that's, we should believe the best in each other and for each other, and we should allow each other grace within the realm of, hey, I want to see you finish your race well.
yeah,
And whatever that looks like, and there's some black and white stuff that's pretty clear as to what that looks like.
Yeah.
And we got to hold true to that. But anything else, then we just got to believe the best and give each other grace and hope that that we all finish our race well.
very good place to end.
That's it.
So that's been the talk. We've had several conversations. I don't know what you're catching at this point, but if you enjoyed what you saw, please subscribe to the channel. Please, if you're in Lafayette or if you're online, Instagram, I'll link it. The Heat Academy.
The Heat Academy.
Browse, buy something, and enjoy yourself. And like we just said, guard your heart.
Guard your heart.
And check out more videos and visit the Heat Academy. Hey,
Oh, man.
I didn't know that you was